A couple of years ago, a colleague of mine named Mary asked if I would talk to her daughter, Felix, about careers in computer science. I said, sure. We had an hour conversation. I really didn't think much of it afterwards. A couple weeks ago, Mary approached me in the hallway to tell me that Felix had just landed her first job in tech. She said to me, I'm so glad that you talked to Felix. You really did not have to talk to her, but I'm so thankful that you did. And I've been turning that phrase over and over in my head ever since talking to Mary that day, not because of what it meant to her or what it meant to Felix, but because of what it means about how change actually happens. We keep looking up, waiting for a moment, a person, a mandate. But top-down change is very hard. It requires winning. It's contested. It's slow. And it can be exhausting to reach for levers that we may not even have access to while walking right past the ones that we do. And here's something that I think most of us know, but maybe don't say out loud. At the end of the day, we're all just a 10-year-old kid in a larger body pretending to be an adult. And the difference between us and the people in the world who are actually affecting change is just confidence and repetition. They're just improvising, just like we are. So the real question is not whether you have the capability to change, but where you have the power to act. Every one of us has a circle of influence. Not the same size, but everyone has one. My wife, Jana, sits on a nonprofit that touches about 14,000 people in our town. A former classmate of mine from Holy Cross is currently CEO at JetBlue. They fly 40 million people annually. That's her circle. Mine at CarGurus right now is about 450 employees, if you consider my staff. Some of us, it's a circle of around a dozen people. They all matter. Take a moment and picture your circle. What's the last thing you did to tend to it? Now, picture a circle above everyone in this room. And picture a circle inside of that circle. What you're looking at isn't a chain, it's a mesh. Chains break when one link fails. A mesh holds. The load distributes. It's a network. And unlike pay it forward, this isn't waiting for a single act to pay it off to someone else. This is a proactive model where you act on a cadence, you're proactive. And that's what forms the mesh and makes it strong. You go first. But the mesh only works if the circles reach somewhere. Look around the room again. Think about how different or how similar our circles are. I would argue they're quite similar. We're likely here because we share interests and maybe even zip codes. And a circle that only connects to people who are similar to people in that same circle is a closed loop. It's not a mesh. Closed loop amplify what's already inside. And in a country that's sorting itself on sameness, that's exactly what we're doing. Now, I'm not going to tell you what to believe. My original slides had red and blue people inside of these circles, so I've backed off of that. But I will tell you something structural. This model requires conversations across lines of difference. That's not a moral argument. That's not a platform. It's a structural design element. And I've done this myself. When I was leading Audible's Cambridge engineering office, we built programs with the city of Cambridge to inspire city kids to pursue careers in computer science. Those kids and our engineers looked very, very different. It doesn't require a dramatic sacrifice. It doesn't require a heroic act. It requires a conversation. So my request of all of you is in the next week to reach out to someone not in your circle, someone that looks different from you, and just have a real conversation, not to convince them of anything, not to change their mind, just to reach across. That's the cadence. That's the whole request. In 2026, this country turns 250 years old. That's 10, maybe 11 generations of people quietly tending their circles, passing something forward. It didn't get here through heroism alone. It got here through cadence. Cadence is quieter. Cadence is what compounds. And these are people who didn't think they were making history. They were just tending their circles. At the end of one of our high school internships at Audible, we asked all of the kids, what was your favorite thing about the summer? And one of the students named Michael said, the best thing about my internship was just walking through the doors of your office. I've lived in Cambridge my entire life, and those skyscrapers in Technology Square were always a mystery to me. You didn't have to, and just the fact that you invited me in, that's had a profound impact on my future. We really did not have to invite Michael in. I really did not have to talk to Felix. And to all of you, you really do not have to either, but your circle and I and our country would be so thankful if you did. Thank you.